So I mentioned I was like already I have like 15 approximately 15 expeditions behind me.
Yes.
And with Juan Cardenas, thanks to his psychic skills,
Hmm.
he's very sensitive to the energies. We each time we could find some stones.
The Codega is a guide and a storyteller, escorting you through the night, lighting the way, warding off thieves, ghosts, demons, and other oddities. Along the journey, his companions would often share with him the most curious of stories that he'd record in his codex. Perhaps you just might find yourself traveling with the Codega and sharing one of yours.
They say the past is buried beneath our feet, but sometimes it's carved in stone and left out in the open, daring us to decode its meaning. Welcome back to Codega's Codex of Curiosities, where shadows speak, relics whisper, and forgotten truths claw their way out of the dust. Today, we're going deep into Mexico to a place called Cerro del Toro, where a series of mysterious stones were unearthed, etched with symbols that some believe may trace back to the lost homeland of the Aztecs, Aztlán. If you remember, we've discussed Aztlán with Scott Randall very recently, and also Michael Laflamme, who, by the fact, will be running a course all about Atlantis and ancient mysteries. The link for that will be in the show notes. But back to the phones, back to the stones. First of all, who carved them? Why do why these symbols, and what do they mean, and why were they buried or hidden at Bull's Hill, Cerro del Toro? Joining me is Tomas Hrico, researcher, explorer, and the man who's been on the trail of these perplexing artifacts. Is this evidence of a lost civilization, ancient contact, or something far stranger than history books aren't ready to admit? Which always seems to come up. So buckle up, true seekers, because the stones may be silent, but today they're going to speak. All right, guys, before we head there, one last announcement. I have that merch store, Codega's Bodega. I love that. Codega's Bodega. Make sure you guys check out the link in the bio. I mean, in my show notes, you can find shirts, sweaters, hats, really cool hats, and sticker packs as well. Very, very inexpensive sticker packs. Show them off, put them around, put them on your computer, put them on your notepad, wherever you want. That would be great. All right, guys. So I want to welcome Tomas to Codega's Codex of Curiosities. Welcome, Tomas. Glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm glad to have you. So before we jump into these stones, the Aztlán stones, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about yourself and where they can find you as well?
Yeah, my name is Tomas Hrico. I'm a Swiss researcher and a journalist, 38 years old. And since my childhood, I'm very interested in the so-called fringe science. So especially in the ancient astronaut theory, which was made famous by Erich von Däniken. And so this is one of the topics I'm focusing I was focusing in the last 10, 15 years. So, and now especially I'm focused on Mexico and these so-called Aztlán stones or stones from Ojuelos. And I wrote a book about this, my research, about my expeditions I made to the El Toro Hill or Cerro del Toro in the state of Jalisco. And this book came out, it was 2022 in November. Until now, it's only available in German, but I plan to translate it also into other languages, especially into Spanish and English, so more people can understand and read it. Yeah.
Uh, I'm looking forward to that as well because I find this topic anything about these ancient aliens or mysteries, that just and we say fringe science. It's on the outside because the mainstream just doesn't want to accept that these things exist, that they're around, and it's like we have to be able to look at these things and it's so I think disrespectful calling it fringe science or fringe ideas, but they're there, they're real. Why don't we look into them a little bit more?
This is a very good question because so many people out there and also academics, I need to say, are simply still not ready to accept also other things which are not belonging to their narrative, to the common narratives of the academic science.
Exactly. It totally will, flip their world upside down, and they'd rather
Right.
not do that, and they'd rather just disregard it or ignore it
Yeah,
than
it's
allow for these changes.
absolutely, absolutely. So, and this is really a pity because now in the 21st century, I think the people slowly could be ready to accept also alternative theories because they have as well the same right to be to be presented to the audience as also other theories of the academia because also other theories could be or alternative theories could be as well correct as the normal theories from the normal science.
Yeah, they could actually complement each other. Like I find a lot of times some of these
Yes,
theories can
yes,
actually complement
absolutely.
each other, but they just
Yes,
rather not. They'd rather just stick with, this basic point of view instead of actually looking
yeah,
into, well, like they'll take the accounts of all these ancient cultures, but then they're like, well, I don't like this part. We'll throw that away. That was just an allegory. That was just a story.
yeah,
That was
right.
just a fable. But we're gonna look at everything else, say it's real, but that little piece, no, just they just made it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and I mean, especially a lot of people like when we are talking about the Nazca mummies. This is a good example. A lot of scientists only check on the pictures a little bit, okay, and they see them and just immediately they are saying, "This must be a hoax. This because this is too good to be true." And so that's it and it's over for them. And they are not doing that they are traveling and see the mummies in person and investigate them, and this should be done because this is the right way, right scientific way, right?
It,
So
it, exactly. Like if it's a hoax, if it's actually a hoax, then prove it. But don't not go there and just be like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like look into
yeah,
it, do the actual proper scientific process of exploring it to see if it's real or if it's not. And if it's not,
yeah.
okay, great. But if it's real, then we need to look into it further
Absolutely, and
mhm.
this is what I really miss by a lot of so-called scientists because I think everybody should be open-minded. Of course, you need to be careful. You need to be critical as well. Like I'm a journalist and I'm also critical, but I'm also open-minded and I give the chance to look closer to all these things, before I have my own judgment about this, because you should do that. This is the correct way and nothing else.
I agree. I agree. So let's go into these Aztlán stones. Okay, what are they, and when were they found? When were they first discovered?
This is not really easy to answer the first discovery, but all the people who are doing research on that are saying that, or better, the people first who found these stones were locals, were simple locals, farmers, and they told to other people from other countries who visited them that they found the stones first time maybe about 60 to 80 years ago, approximately. Nobody really knows when exactly the first discovery was made because it was not documented, or at least we don't know about the documentation. There are no photos, nothing, only this. Postulations about the discovery. So they are saying the first stones were found about 60 to 80 years ago by farmers. But these farmers were scared and they hide these objects uh, for good reasons, because they were scared to be like, it's the same like with the UFO topic, like that the other people will laugh about them or on them, and think that they are crazy if they are saying this is something alien and authentic and etc. And so the people a long time were silent about this topic. So but may about it was around 2011 when there was in Germany, in Saarbrücken, a congress which was held by Klaus Dona. Klaus Dona is also a famous researcher and cultural manager, and also the other guy was Nassim Haramein, a Swiss physicist, and both were holding a presentation and presented the first such stone objects from Mexico. And the special on the stones was that they were carved. They showed carvings of seemingly of unidentified flying objects, so spaceships and extraterrestrial beings and planets, unknown planets, or even meteors like impacts or something like this, and also strange writings which until today we cannot really decipher. This is a big enigma until today still.
Wow. That is
So, and this presentation went viral, and so thanks to this, still more and more people know about these stones from Ojuelos or Aztlán stones, and of course there were a bunch of critics, skepticism, and the so-called shitstorm, like Klaus Dona was calling it. But on the other side, the positive was that the locals from Mexico were not afraid anymore to go public with that, with their own findings. So they sent to Klaus many pictures and videos, and Klaus still talked more and more about it, and so it went more and more famous, you know.
wow.
And
Okay.
this was the really good thing, because thanks to this also I got yeah attracted to this topic,
I
and
was going to say you got the bug. We'd say, I got the bug to
I yes.
I want to go in and check this out, and you got hooked. Yeah.
Yeah, I got hooked. I got. It was very excited to see this. It was very exciting to see this. In this video, this presentation, and then I was doing my own research. Found still more and more also articles on the internet who were mentioning these stones, and then I also try to get in touch with other people who are dealing with this, also over Facebook. I know Facebook, the people will think, oh my God, it's full of fakes. And of course it is. But also there's also the positive. There are also a lot of very interesting people on Facebook, which you can get in touch, And so I got in touch with such people, and could find out more about these stones, And there was one day, it was 2018 or 2019, I got in touch with a Brazilian lady. So she is originally from Brazil, but she lives in California. Her name is Graça Pimentel. She's also a researcher. And I could see her photos she posted on Facebook. And the photos showed a very impressive stones. She was she could see, or she could take pictures of when she visited the locals, because many of the locals there in Jalisco, in Ojuelos or in Aguascalientes. Aguascalientes is in the state of Aguascalientes, but it's close to Ojuelos, maybe about 1 hour by car. And I also started then from Aguascalientes when I went to Mexico. But first, I contacted Grasa Pimentel and told her my intention that I would like to meet these people and also travel there to Mexico, see these collections by my own, do my research, and even do excavations. And this was fantastic because this lady immediately wrote me, of course, Thomas, no problem. I can give you two contacts, very good contacts, uh, which you can reach. She gave me the numbers of these people, locals from Mexico, and I also immediately contacted them, and they were also ready to help me, in this matter. So, and
So that was
then
a great contact to make there.
absolutely. So, but I was doing something. I really introduced myself, who I am, what are my intentions, and she could feel, this lady, that I really have good intentions, and I want to really find out more of these stones, and also share this knowledge with other people, during my journalistic work, through my journalistic work. And this was what I always wanted. I wanted to connect journalism with research, and until today I'm doing this. So I love to travel and go. Now I was in Mexico like 10 times maybe, and on the trail of these stones from Ojuelos. So I have several expeditions behind me, and I wrote this book then about these experiences, and it was published then in 2022 in a German through a German publisher called Novum Verlag is the name.
Okay, so I do have some questions about your expeditions. So
Yeah.
you decided to go. Can you describe, coming to the site? What does the site look like? Is it just hills, or are they covered in jungle, or are they like prairie grass? What are they like? The sites itself.
Well, I need to say it's a huge area. So first, I always go from Aguascalientes, because when I arrive by plane, I go to the town first, take my hotel, prepare everything, and the next days I go then by car, or you can also go by bus. Take the bus. It's about 1.5 hour until Ojuelos, until you arrive there, and there, from in Ojuelos, in the town, there is a very famous shaman who is very familiar with these stones of Aztlán during our generations. So his parents, or his grandparents already were like so-called keepers, or some who are hiding, or who are take care of about these places, the sacred places, and
I think
they are,
keepers is a great word, or curators as
yes,
well.
or
Yes.
something, who really are preserving the stones, that nothing happens to this, or to these places where they are found, and only to few people they really trust. They are ready to tell and take these people to these places who these stones are hidden, and the area is close to this Cerro del Toro. So you say Hill of the Bull is the translation, and it's about 8 to 10 kilometers approximately from the town of Ojuelos. And so I was not able in the first time when I went to Mexico. I was not able to go to the expeditions. Only in the second visit, I had the right contact. I meet Juan Cardenas, the shaman from Ojuelos, who then was ready to took me and my friends to the hills, But it was in the second time, or even in the third time. I'm not sure anymore. But not the first time I visited Mexico. Was not. I didn't have these contacts yet, him. But then, after in the other occasions, I really had the opportunity, and I was really lucky thanks to these contacts I already have from Grasa Pimentel, that we could visit these places, And there is the Cerro del Toro in the first place, and also the sacred valley which belongs to this sacred place, So they call it the Valle Sagrado, the Sacred Valley, but it's not an official name for this. This is only like the locals call this place, And it's a very huge area. About it's dry area. It's a mix of little hills, of a lot of rocks, rock formations, and also vegetation. So you have also one, two, three. About it depends if it's in the dry season or if it's the raining season. Then you find also like small rivers through the area, But mostly it's dry, and a lot of cacti you found there, and it's not easy to reach these places where these stones are hidden. But thanks to Juan Cardenas, who was our leader, and he's also some sort of psychic, so he can feel these energies also. Since his childhood, he also told us about a lot of experiences, very strange experiences with some kind of extraterrestrial entities or UFO sightings and other energies. He had weird dreams where he was told where to go to find these stones. And these stones were not only hidden underground on the surface, but also deep in underground chambers or tunnels. But during my experiences, I was not able to see some underground chambers until now. But I believe maybe in the next expeditions, I think we can do that finally. After 15 expeditions now, maybe. So, so
You might get the invitation. Yes, you might have
yeah. So
qualified.
you can see it's a long process until you
Yes.
get to the goal. Until you reach the goal, what you
Yeah,
want.
it's not like just like a tourist who goes to
No,
Chichen
no, no.
Itza. Yeah, I saw it, and then I leave. No, no, no.
You
It's
you
this
really need
process.
the trust of these locals, because they are really skeptical in many ways, especially if they don't know you. This is natural, of course. And so first you need to uh, talk to them and know them better. They need to know you better, and then slowly the trust comes with that. And if they really see you have good intentions, then they are willing to take you to these places where you can have this experience
Yes,
for yourself.
which is awesome. Okay.
It's awesome, and because it's also not easy because mostly of these territories are private properties. So it's not only that you need the guide, but you need also the have the allowance from the owners, of the properties, that you can enter the lands. And so, and sometimes, of course, they want to be paid, so it's not only always for free. So mostly you
Exactly.
need to pay something, even though it's not that much, but still, I mean, sometimes you really need to pay something. But I think it's also fair on the other side, because these people also take you there. So the guide obviously also wants have something, because, for example, Juan Cardenas is doing this like his work for life. He needs to own something, and so it's natural, that he needs to be paid. It's a lot
Yeah,
of work he
and
participates.
people don't understand that. As soon as they hear that part of it, they're like, "Oh, this is some sort of thing." But it's like, well, how else is he going to make a living? Like he is taking out his time to show these people these. He's curator. He's protecting these. He's watching these.
Absolutely.
Of course, it would be. He would need some sort of payment so he can survive. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
it
Because
bothers me
this,
when people see that or they hear that. They're like, oh, I'm like, well,
and I
why?
need
Yeah,
to say, it's not that much as maybe people might think, because maybe people are thinking, oh, now it's surely for $2,000, $3,000 or something, or even more, and I can say it's not that case, because when we went there, I paid about 200 $250 for each expedition, what is not too much, especially when you're from Europe. So if you compare the price, the it's really not much money to be on the way on the road for several hours, because it takes us like 5 6 hours to so you can say the whole half a day to get there, make the dig, and then when we are lucky, we find something, and then we need to return until it's dark, because when it's dark, it's really not safe to be there,
okay, yeah,
especially for women. Because I heard a lot of also stories about that there are the so-called cartels, drug cartels,
yeah. And
which are
In
in
Jalisco,
Jalisco.
it is known. Yes, like
Yes,
some
it's
people will.
known.
Yeah, like I will be the first to say that some places in Mexico are really safe. Some places in
Yeah,
Mexico are very dangerous, and Jalisco
absolutely.
is not one of those very safest places. So you have to
Yeah,
be very aware.
and it depends on which time and where. Also, because these cartels are still also moving. They are not staying for a long period of time on the same place. So, and this is good for us, because and we have also, thanks to the locals, they are really well informed about this situation. And if they say to us, to me and my group, it's better not to go there right now because it's in a red zone or something, it's dangerous. So then we say, okay, then we wait and until it's safe again. And it's not long, because maybe on the other day it's safe, and we can go. So, and several times we had this kind of situation that it was not really safe. We needed to wait 1 2 days, and then we could go. But it's only for a short time you need to wait. It's not like for 2 3 weeks or something. Thanks to God, because I was
Yes,
there maybe
yes. You're like,
my trip
I'm not
to.
here for that long. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm there in Mexico maybe 2 3 weeks, and then I need to return to Switzerland. So this is good that it's not taking like weeks that you need to wait until it's safe.
E-
But I need to say,
exactly.
we were really lucky. We were really lucky because every time we went to Cerro del Toro, We always were alone, nobody there. You could see, you look around for 2 3 kilometers into this distance, not a single soul was there, you know. So it's absolutely like it was like completely unknown land, you know, like
Hmm.
never before was
Just deserted,
somebody there, you
yeah,
know. Yeah,
untouched
like a
kind of.
desert, like in
Mhm.
Sahara, you are in the desert and there's nobody, you know. So
So
it's
I have
fantastic,
a
you know.
question. I have a question, Thomas. Did you yourself discover any, or were you there when they discovered any new of these stones itself themselves?
Yes, we several times we were lucky and we could discover several artifacts. So I mentioned I was like already I have like 15 approximately 15 expeditions behind me. And with Juan Cardenas, thanks to his psychic skills, you know, to he's very sensitive to the energies. We each time we could find some stones. So with him, he used a pendulum, you know, for his search, and always the pendulum is directing the way where to go. And he was always the leader. And the pendulum, when you are over the exact spot where these objects are buried, it's a energetic place, and the pendulum starts to rotate, you know, and very strongly. And then this is the indication, okay, we are on the right place. So and then we start to dig, and it depends on maybe we are lucky we find the first stone about 20 minutes after. Sometimes it took 1 hour, and sometimes even longer, you know. It depends on how deep it is and how hard it is, because it's always hard to dig there, because the people maybe think, oh, it's very easy to dig and then put everything away and you have the stones and that's it. But no, the soil is it's very compact, it's hard. You need the equipment, you need like the pickaxe to dig, or a shovel and something. And it took you really a lot of time until you finally reach the first about, you know, it's not very deep. The stones are about 25 to 50 centimeters deep. So it's not very deep, hidden underground, but it's still exhausting
And
to dig there.
you probably have to be very careful doing it as well, because you don't want to be just like slamming away
Yes,
into the
yes.
ground, because you
You
can
need to be
damage these.
careful not to damage the stones, of course, yes. And also, there are, you know, the very interesting thing is that on these spots where the stones are hidden, always a plant is over this place, is with the roots, you know, which are going deep into the soil underground. So and there are also a lot of stones underground which needs to be taken away, and we need to destroy also the roots until
Okay,
finally
so
we can reach the first object, you know.
I just want to be, I want to make sure people who are listening that it's not like these stones could be planted, right? It's because they're over top of these plants. These plants have their roots into the ground, you know. Because I'm sure there are some skeptical people who would be like, "Oh, this gentleman is placing them out and just leading you guys on." But no, what you're saying is that a lot of times that there's roots in the ground. Like this can't
Yeah,
be
also,
replicated.
you know, our impression was always that these objects were hidden there for a long time. We can, of course, we cannot be absolutely sure that if it's the case, but I mean, all these indications, like I say, that we needed to destroy the plants, the roots, the big stones put away. The soil was not like powder, but it was really hard and
Compact. Hmm.
compact. Yes, and so these are indications that it was really for a long time underground. And I need to say, this is now the highlight because the last time when my group and me were there at the Cerro del Toro, it was this year in February and March. Yes, February and March, and we really had a breakthrough this time because my friend from Italy, his name is Alberto Donini. He's engineer, and he's also doing research on these stones for several years now. And he joined me now the second time in Mexico, and we went together to the El Toro Hills again with Juan Cardenas, with the guide, with the shaman. But the first time now, Alberto Donini was the one who put his own pendulum and lead the way. So first we had a little ceremony where Juan Cardenas was energizing the stone. It was like an amulet, also as Aztlán stone, which was also found there in this area. And the owner was Alberto, and he took it from his home to Mexico for this purpose, to make to use it as a pendulum, and we did that. So now the first time Alberto was the one who leads the way, and we found a place and we started digging, and I need to say 4 hours we dig. It was the first time that this excavation took us that long, you know. And maybe after 3 hours, we found the first object. After 3 hours, and then maybe uh, 10 minutes later, the second one, and the third one about approximately 4 hours. So three objects were in total, and the last object was made of burnt clay or terracotta.
Terracotta.
This was
Wow.
the first time we found an object which was made of burnt clay or terracotta. You know, it's some sort of terracotta, if we think. And this was really an fantastic to us because now we had the opportunity to make a laboratory analysis, so age dating by the thermoluminescence method. And when I returned to Switzerland, I went to the laboratory Kotala. Kotala is a private laboratory in Germany, which is there are experts for thermoluminescence age datings worldwide, the leaders in this. It's a private lab, and I and so Mr. Kotala, it's a father and a son. So two together are doing this laboratory analysis, and the father took samples of this little figure. It's a little figurine, some sort of alien figurine, and Mr. Kotala took samples of this and analyzed it. And guess what? It's authentic. It's authentic. It's about 2,100 years old, the object. So for us, for Alberto and me, this is you can say, the ultimate evidence that this phenomena around the stones of Ojuelos is real. Because I need to say also the other side. There are a bunch of fakes out there, modern fakes, which are made by different locals for obviously for financial purpose, for business purposes. But there are also authentic stones, and now we finally could definitely prove it. Thanks to that.
Wow,
So
that is amazing. That is a great discovery for
yeah.
to have like this proof now that well, this is 2,100 years old. Yes. Now, okay, so let's discuss the stones themselves. You had said that there was possibly other planets, other meteors, like showing meteors or alien beings or craft
Yes.
as well. Can you go into a little more detail about those specifics?
Well, it's really hard to tell what exactly is depicted on the stones, because until now we can only guess. We have only several. Yeah, it's not for sure what the meaning is about these carvings. What they are depicting, what they are showing us. But there are different interpretations until today, and also Russian researchers around Oleg Elistratov, who also wrote like now 3 books about this topic with his colleagues, research colleagues, which are published now. And he also wrote about this, that now they are also studying the symbols which are depicted on the stones.
Trying to
But
decipher them, I'm
yes,
assuming.
yeah, they are trying to decipher, but until today, nobody really knows what they mean. There are only some symbols which are very familiar, because they are very similar or even identical to other symbols from other ancient civilizations, like, for example, the ankh, the cross from the ancient Egypt, like the symbol for life or the life after death, the ankh. Or we have the swastika, the cross, which was unfortunately used by the Nazis, for the
They
wrong
they they
purpose.
s- they stole a lot of symbols, ancient symbols,
Yes, yes,
and
yes. Of course,
kind of
because they did also
perverted them.
research on these topics. Hitler did a lot of research into ancient civilizations. He was very fascinated by this. But this symbol is very ancient. It goes back to Sumerian times or even to more ancient times, and the people say that it's a symbol for prosperity, for good luck, or there are also other ideas like it symbolizes the galaxy, like it's circulating the galaxy. Or it's also a good interpretation in my opinion. So, but we don't really know what exactly is the meaning, especially on these stones, But you can find it on several of on little figures or other objects like flying saucers, because there are different kind of objects in forms of little idols, little amulets you find. Then you find little statues of
And and Thomas, you're going to be sharing those pictures, some of those pictures of those
yeah, of
stones with us,
course.
right? So
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 I will
whoever
share. You can
yeah, and whoever
do
is
this.
listening right now, I'm going to be posting these pictures as we are talking
Yes.
about these. So tune into the YouTube channel, and you guys can see
Yeah.
these stones
This
themselves
is,
right now.
and then the people can get a better impression on that, what we are talking about. So, but there are meanwhile there are many thousands of different objects, even objects which are like mosaic, put together.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's very impressive. Artistically, it's a fantastic work. Even if the stones should be fake, I need to say that some of the objects are very impressive and needs a lot of knowledge in the artistical knowledge, artistical skills. And I can imagine that it's a lot of work to make something like this. Even the mosaics, and also there. other researchers could already find out that the mosaic stones or the objects which are made of mosaic, we can do also age datings because there is the organic material, the glue, which
Yep.
between this
Like
little
in the
mosaic
carving
stone.
and the etching, there would be
Yes,
organic material.
and this
Yes.
glue you can C14 make C14 age dating or radiocarbon dating tests, and there were astonishing results already, like about 10,000 years, 15,000 years, or something like this. And this is amazing, even if I need to say that this is only the glue which is that old, but it doesn't mean that also the stone or the work is also that old. This is the problem with stone objects, because you cannot age date the stone, only
Because
the glue.
yes, because the stone itself can be so much older. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
you don't know when these carvings were made. It's only say how old the glue itself is, but not the carvings, and this is the problem. But there are also other methods how you can, which you at least have indications that is old. We can talk about the patina. You can investigate or analyze the carving method, how it's done, which kind of tools were used. You can find this out by microscopical analysis. The patina, of course, the weathering, and all these are indicators that is really very old. If you can find it on the stone. So in my book, I asked for my book. I asked Oleg Elistratov to analyze several hundreds of my own pictures, which I made by my microscope because I have my own microscope and I do the analysis by myself. So you can clearly see the weatherings on the objects. But I wanted to have also an opinion from the research team from Oleg Elistratov, and they even have an geologist in their team, a Russian geologist. So, and he also could see the pictures of mine, and they did comparisons with their own pictures and objects, and they are very similar, with the authentic objects. So this is also an indication that my objects, which we found during my own expeditions, are really authentic as well. You
Oh
know.
wow. Yes.
So this is the other side. I mean, this is not definitely conclusive evidence that it's really authentic because we have only the glue, the organic material. But this clay artifact we found, which shows a little, uh, we think extraterrestrial being with elongated skull. It's definitely old, and there is no question that it's somehow put together or whatever. It's not possible. We can rule that out, and also other methods, maybe like doing like you can do with special machines. You can ray. How do you say?
Like you can test it, or sorry,
No, no, not testing, but you can make it old
kind of
with
like
some kind of X-rays or whatever. You can
okay,
use.
yes.
This is also a method. Mr. Kotala told me that there also is this option that you can fake objects like this to make it older through this technique. But he told me also that you would see that during the analysis because he has the most modern machines, very expensive machines, and this would show up on during the analysis on the screen, if it's made like this, and
You'll be able to
so
detect that then.
yes, he would detect that with these machines, and in this case, it was not detected. So it's really ancient, it's really authentic figurine, which shows an otherworldly being, not from this world, not human,
So
So
that
this is,
I love that. I love
yeah,
that. Now
me too.
I
This is really a breakthrough.
I
So
agree.
for my team and me, and because I cannot remember that something like this was done before. I think, okay, Oleg made also some tests, or other researcher as well, but I never saw that people made from their own finding analysis age dating test. And I think we are the first one now that could do that and publish that, from from the from the own finding, because this is the thing,
And that is like credible hard evidence that can't be
Yes,
ignored.
yes,
Let's just say it can't be ignored. Now,
yes.
I
Because
do. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I just wanted to say only that because we have also videos, we recorded that. Not all the process, all the 4 hours was not possible to record because we had only smartphones with us, and the accu was then almost empty. We needed only some of the situations we could record, but still we have really good evidence, and all of this, and the laboratory reports, which I think now nobody can say, this is fake, you are inventing these things and blah blah blah. No, this time it's real. It's really authentic.
Perfect. I think that's what we need. Like I still believe that they're authentic prior to that, but it's you need that evidence to kind of start like presenting it to the mainstream then so that they can't refute it at this point. Now, I do have a question. So, we said that these stones are also called Aztlán stones, but do these stones contain any reference to Aztlán by name or symbolism?
All right. It's not how to say. It's not really mentioned in this, like the Codex Boturini I mentioned when we were talking before, because the Codex Boturini mentions only the exodus from this mythical land Aztlán to Mexico City, to where the Aztecs were established the city of Tenochtitlan, the main capital of their uh, em- empire, right?
Okay,
We can
yes.
say.
Yes.
And they were led by the Huitzilopochtli. Yes, is the name of this god or deity. Huitzilopochtli is, I think, the right spell. I'm sorry if I'm not.
I think you're doing better than I probably could. So we're going to say
Okay. So
yes. That's good.
Huitzilopochtli or Pochtli or somehow something like this is the correct spelling, and this was the sun deity or sun god or the god of war by the Aztecs, and they were led by him to this new land. This is the legend. And some researchers, like from Mexico, there is this famous researcher and ex-military doctor, Dr. Sanchez is his name, Pablo Garcia Sanchez, and he already was writing a book. Maybe I think it was in 2000. I'm not sure, 2003, 4, something like this, but much earlier than Oleg or me. There were some researchers already writing books about Aztlan and their research on the Aztlan stones. So we are not the first one. I need to mention, at least not in Mexico. Not worldwide, not worldwide. Maybe in Europe, yes, but not worldwide. So, but this doctor, he wrote also in his book about Aztlán, and that his hypothesis is that this this city or this empire was situated in the El Toro Hills, the center of it, and that he found indications also that there was like an island surrounded by a big lake.
Okay.
and
Yes.
and the island was like this Cerro del Toro, the hills, which were occupied by the indigenous people, where they have several caves they were living inside, and even underground, because there is also mention about the so-called place of the seven caves. It's like Chicomostoc is the name. Chicomostoc. There's also this legend. But this was a place underground, so like seven caves underground, where this indigenous people or were then or several several tribes or several cultures originated, like the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Mayans, the Olmecas, etc. So, and this is also connected to Aztlán itself. And Aztlán was very close to this Chicomostoc place, and was some kind of Atlantis, for so very high sophisticated uh, civilization, which was maybe about 10,000 years ago or something like this, or even more. And so this doctor is writing about this in his book and mentioning that all this which he found, the discoveries he made on this place in Cerro del Toro, are for him indications or even evidence that the land, the origin, the mother culture of all these pre-Hispanic civilizations was there. So this is the story, but it's not like the ultimate evidence. But it's a good hypothesis which you can work with. But we
Yes.
still we
Exactly.
still are only on the top of the iceberg. You say we say it's only we starting to really discover this kind of this places there and the civilization, because honestly we have no idea what kind of civilization it was. We cannot read, we cannot translate the writing, which would be very important to know that what happens there. We only have theories or hypotheses that like that some thousand years ago there was an extraterrestrial civilizations which visited these indigenous people and settled there. They lived among these indigenous people, and they were like they masters. They taught them different kind of things in astronomy, mathematics, architecture, etc. Like we hear these stories all around the world.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Everywhere around the world, there
Yes,
is.
and we know that there are connections to Egypt, to Mesopotamia, so Iraq, and then we have even connections to Europe, like to the Wincha culture, for example, because some of these symbols you found on the Aztlán stones are also depicted on other artifacts from other ancient cultures, or also in the North America, for example, on the walls, the paintings or the carvings you find some of the symbols also on the stones of Aztlán. This is a fact. but still we have no idea what the other symbols which we cannot decipher what this means, because this is something completely different, which has never seen been which has never been seen before, in no one culture. So this is something completely new for us.
It, it it is, it's always new, especially, and that's the thing, is we have to be ready to accept those new changes, and we have to
Yeah,
be able to let go of what we thought was real, and
yeah.
just move forward with
This
this.
is something we know. This is not only Mexico. This is around the world. We have different kind of traces of ancient cultures which were not really known maybe 5 years ago or even 2 years ago. And we now start, thanks to this technology we have now, the georadar or even the satellites. The ground penetrating radar you can use. You can find structures underground. Like now we have this discovery under the Giza plateau from these Italian researchers, right? Which went viral through the world, and
Yeah, exactly. It's there's so much more, and of course it just gets tossed out. A lot of times they try to do everything to discredit it. They try to do
yeah,
everything to make it look fake or not
yes,
real,
yes,
or
this is the
or
shadow
just
side,
yeah,
unfortunately, yes.
just
and
outright deny.
this is also the same also with the stones of Aztlán, that many are saying these are fakes. The INA, right, in Mexico, the Institut Nacional Antropología y Historia, right?
Okay,
So
yes.
the anthropologic historical institution in Mexico, it's also against these artifacts. They just say, oh, everything is fake. It's only souvenirs, made by locals for the tourists, and that's it. And for them, it's a closed case, at least officially, because meanwhile we believe that INA are very well studying these pieces, but in secret. Not They are not telling this to the public, but they are, of course, they know about the authentic pieces. The same in Tula Hidalgo now. They Several people are doing excavations and finding there big statues, very big objects. So something different from the El Toro stones, but these objects are also showing otherworldly entities, and they are even much bigger, and heavier and more deep underground. So this is also something we could talk about,
Yeah,
but
there's so
let's
much
do.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much more, but I think we can right now focus only on the El Toro stones, because otherwise we would need to
we,
talk
we
about.
don't we don't have enough time, yeah, for
Right,
all
right.
those but Thomas, when okay, I know we're getting close to wrapping this up, but when is Mexico going to welcome you back? When are you coming back to Mexico for another expedition?
Well, we plan to do the next expedition in the next year.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I think also maybe February, March, something like that.
Kind of like in the exact year
Yeah,
time. Now I
we
have
would
a
like to
question.
return.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
no, no, it's okay. You can
Oh,
ask
I was
me,
going to
please.
say, are you going to lead one of them with a pendulum? Are you going to try taking the lead and see if you can discover any this time?
Yes, I would love to try this technique, because I'm really fascinated by this. And for this, what I experienced, I am 100% sure that it's something really authentic. That Juan Cardenas is the real deal. He's not making this up, or even burying some stones underground for go there with some tourists, to to dig this. But we believe also that some people are doing even this, because
Mm-hmm.
we could find
Unfortunately, there are people that would take advantage of that. It's
we
like they
could
see an
find
opportunity.
traces even in Tula Hidalgo. We found a group where Alberto immediately, maybe after 2 3 minutes, realized that this excavation is fake. It's not real excavation. It was only prepared for us because when we arrived there in Tula Hidalgo, it was late afternoon, and maybe after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the first stone they found, and then 2 minutes later the second object appeared, and then the third, and they told us that they were there like for the whole day and found nothing, and so it was very suspicious to us. So, and Alberto was really like engineer. He was very analytically. He was observing all this scene, and then he went away, and I could see that he is upset, really upset. And then we went away, and then I asked, "Somehow you are silent, Alberto. What's going on?" And he told me, "This is a scam. This is a scam. It's a fake." And let's go get away from this because
Yeah, because
these people are not good people. They are really doing.
and what could happen though is if you get taken in by that, it would discredit anything that you found in the
Yes,
past.
yes, absolutely.
And it's and
It's,
I
it's
applaud you for and Alberto for realizing that and
Yeah,
walking away.
because I was very so excited that I didn't really was watching these details, and you can say that the devil is in the detail, right? So,
Yes,
but I
exactly.
was so excited this time that the first time in Tula Hidalgo we can go and see an excavation, hurrah, yoo-hoo, and then I was really focused on these objects. But you know what? We are still in our opinion is that the objects itself were real, authentic, but the excavation itself was not. So they took objects. In our opinion, these people are even taking real objects they found elsewhere and putting them underground for take tourists there and for doing for money, for business, do a good business, because for them it's more easier to do that, like do excavations which take maybe even weeks until they found something, because it's very deep, hidden, they need to dig a lot, because these objects are like 2 3 meters or even more deeper. It's not like in El Toro, so you need really a lot of time to be there and do these excavations. And of course, I think they are also real excavations, but they want much more money for that,
Of course. Of course.
So this is the big problem, that they are doing business of out of this. And yeah, we visited also a collector of these objects in Tula, which for us seemed to be trustworthy. It's in our opinion, and had really impressive objects. And we asked these guys of if we can join one excavations during our stay there. And they were thinking, and they told us, okay, let's ask. We need to ask the owner of the property, and we will tell you the other day. So we returned the other day, and unfortunately, they told us it's not safe because the INA, which I mentioned before, is now watching them very carefully and knows about these excavations, about these objects, and it's prohibited to do legal diggings there. Uh, you know, this was what they told us, but I am not sure if it's really true. Maybe they didn't wanted us that we go there and mm, join the excavations for a little money, or so maybe they wanted the object only for themselves, and that's it. But we don't know. So, but we stay in touch with these guys because we have the impression they are honest. It's not like the other group which I mentioned that which are doing this fake
The setup,
diggings.
yes.
But so we stay away from this group obviously, and we only will stay in touch with the good guys in our opinion. So
Perfect. And
because we are
I think
really
that's
analyzing.
you want to be ethical. You want to do this the correct way.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if
absolutely.
they are legitimate artifacts, but for them to like pretend to
You
bury
know,
them and like, hey, look at you found these, yay! It's
yeah,
no.
you need really to be careful, and for us, it's very important because we know that each collection for me was also the same. When each collection I visited until today, I can tell you was like 50% fake and 50% real, approximately, more or less, you know. And also here with these people in Tula, which we visited, which we trust, we could see also they have also modern replicas of real objects, you know, which they made. But they told us they receive these objects permanently from other people, which they are in contact there. So it's not everything is from them only, you know. But they are also doing their own excavations and sell some pieces also to other people. So we also bought some objects from them, which we think are authentic. And but there is not possibility to really analyze them by do a age dating because it's made of crystal, you know, and quartz. So there are, of course, scientists who can do like on the crystal skulls, for example. They can do analysis and find out if this skull was made recently or really hundreds of years ago, you know. But I can believe that such analyses are really expensive. So
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, it comes with
I heard
quite the price tag.
there are top institutions in Vienna, for example, where Klaus Dona lives, right? I know about that. Maybe you heard about there are these nature historical museums very famous in Vienna, or archaeological museums which can do that. But I think it's very expensive. So,
Yes,
and
yes.
unfortunately, I don't really have the money for doing that. And
You're saving the money for the expeditions. It's
yeah,
like yes,
for me, it's better to do that. So I need to put priorities. I cannot have everything, unfortunately. So
definitely.
this is the case, and unfortunately, I don't have any sponsors or people who are helping me
That's what I was thinking
financially.
because you're in the fringe side of
Yeah,
it.
I'm
It
free.
must be
I'm
very
really
hard to
doing
get
this
people.
on my own privately. I'm free journalist at the moment. So completely doing it is from my own pocket, you know. So nobody is really helping me. And can you imagine what could be when I would have top sponsors like some kind of uh, like this milliardaire Bigelow, Robert Bigelow, for
Yes,
example,
yeah, yeah.
who I am
That
sure
would be
is.
quite the sponsor. Yes,
Yeah, this would be a sponsor, and I'm sure, and I'm not the only one. I think that he's hiding a lot of things in his bunkers, which has to do with UFOs and crash retrievals, etc. And he was the owner of the Skinwalker Ranch, and so he knows much more as he's telling to the public. This is for
it,
sure.
exactly. He knows more than he's letting on.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, Thomas. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. This was fantastic. I thoroughly
It
enjoyed
was a
this.
big pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation, Ryan.
And one last time, can you just give everybody your website and where they can find you?
Yes, of course. As my website is very simple. It's my name, full name. So www.tomas, Tomas Hrico, Hrico. So tomashrico.com. And that's it.
Perfect. And your book is in German, but hopefully you get that translated shortly.
Yes.
And, maybe our listeners and viewers can start buying the book and help sponsor your
Yes.
expeditions.
I mean, it's available on Amazon. You can find it when you put my name on the search, Tomas Hrico, and then the book appears. It's a hard book. You can buy it as a hard copy, or you can buy it like an ebook. Is also possible. And I think nowadays it's not really difficult to translate it by this artificial intelligence. You can do it very easily. So it should be not a problem if you really are interested in this topic and want to know what is written there. So, but I will of course do my best to soon translate it into other languages, like I say, like Spanish. It would be very important
Yes,
because it's about Mexico. So Spanish and
exactly.
English, of course.
Yes. Well, Thomas, thank you again so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I wish you all the
Yeah.
best.
Thank you very much also, and I hope the listeners also enjoyed it. And I'm really sorry for my broken English.
You did fantastic. You did fantastic.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, everyone. Thomas Hrico did amazing. So, are these Aztlán stones the possibly echoes of a forgotten civilization, maybe even a warning etched in stone by ancestors who knew more than they let on? Or are they breadcrumbs to a much larger puzzle, one that challenges the official story, and it just dares us to dig deeper, so to speak? And, as always, I leave that decision in your hands. It's always for you, my dear listeners. But remember, history is written by the victors and the truth, but not always. Sometimes history is buried, sometimes beneath mountains named after a bowl. A huge thank you again to Tomas Hrico for daring to ask the questions that needed to be asked, and going against mainstream archaeology, that these are things that they just won't touch. So be sure to follow his work and keep an eye on Cerro del Toro, because the stones aren't done speaking just yet. And if you have a story, a whisper, or a relic that's been calling to you, reach out and you just might be the next guest that steps into the Codex. This is Rye the Codega signing off, but never out. Keep your curiosity wandering, keep the light lit, and always find your way home.
Beneath the stars where shadows grow, the Nephilim's echoes whisper low. Bigfoot roams through the forest deep, and Dogman prowls where the brave won't sleep. Across lost history we wonder why, seeking the truth that time tried to hide. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. UFOs streak through the velvet skies, aliens watch with unblinking eyes. The paranormal hums where silence breaks, in the void of secrets a lantern wakes. Through hidden realms and stories untold, the Codex flame is a light to hold. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. UFOs streak through the velvet skies, aliens watch with unblinking eyes. The paranormal hums where silence breaks, in the void of secrets a lantern wakes. through hidden realms and stories untold. The Codex flame is a light to hold. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit. Through the darkness, don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come and always find your way back home. Legends rise from the Earth's deep core, a lost legacy we can't ignore. With every step, the veil grows thin, revealing worlds where the strange begins. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit. Through the darkness, don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come and